Good morning, Nitish.
Good morning, sir.
So, congratulations for cracking the exam in the first attempt.
Thank you, sir.
And you're so young.
Thank you, sir.
And so you're from Delhi.
Yes, sir.
Which part of Delhi?
Sir, Central Delhi, Karol Bagh.
Karol Bagh.
Yes, sir.
You've been there for a long time, or you come from some other state?
No, sir. My family lives there.
Family lives there.
Yes, sir.
What do you like about Delhi?
So various aspects of Delhi. For example, we have a lively culture in Delhi that we have so many people from different parts of the country. So that is one thing that I like.
So it's cosmopolitan nature.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but it's also very infamous for certain insecurities.
Yes, sir. There are some issues. For example, the pollution issue or the crime against women. These are some issues, and I believe that the Delhi as a whole is tackling these issues.
So you think that the image is better now than earlier, or is it gone down?
So there have been certain incidents, but I believe that there have been steps taken. For example, the installation of the CCTV cameras, or having marshals in the buses, or the Delhi police being proactive in case of the crimes against women. So we have taken steps, I believe.
But the state and the central government have been at loggerheads. And has that affected you?
So it has not affected me personally, but I believe that it has some negative repercussions for the governance in Delhi. So recently there was a bill passed by the parliament which clarifies the role of the lieutenant governor and the council of ministers. So I believe that goes in the right direction to have amicable relationship between the lieutenant governor and the chief minister.
Do you think that's a correct thing to do? See, the lieutenant governor, who is is not an elected person,
yes, sir,
is given a lot of powers.
yes, sir.
Do you think it's correct? In a democracy, it's the elected people who should have the powers.
So as you have rightly mentioned that in democracy, people should be the rulers. But Delhi is a sui generis model that it is not a full-fledged state nor a traditional union territory. So we have to have certain mechanism to run Delhi. And I believe that in some aspects, for example, the land, police, and public order, the lieutenant governor should have more power, and the bill specifies that. And also in other areas, the lieutenant governor should listen to the aid and advice of the council of ministers. So that is also in the right direction. However, the bill says that the government in Delhi would mean the lieutenant governor. I believe that could have been avoided, and the elected representative should mean the government in Delhi.
Isn't it against the constitutional amendment which empowers the local bodies and the states?
So it could not be said completely against the heart and soul of the constitution, because constitution in article 239AA says that parliament has complete powers to make any law for Delhi, and using that provisions the parliament has amended the recent bill. So I believe that it is according to the constitution.
That is only a provision. It doesn't mean that it is it in the spirit of the constitution?
I believe that it is in the spirit of the Honorable Supreme Court judgment of 2018, which said that there should be some powers with the lieutenant governor and some powers with the chief minister. So there should not be any one completely powerful authority in Delhi. So I believe that it is in that direction.
Okay, okay. We find your interest very interesting, actually. You are a commerce man, yes, dealing with mundane subjects like account keeping and accounts receivable, accounts payable, and things like that. And you are interested in mythology. How is that? So you can't have mythology in accounting, huh?
Sir, yes, it can be said that there is no mythology in accounting, but we have examples like Chitragupt, who does accounting of our karmas. So that is one aspect in which commerce and accountancy could be linked to mythology.
No, I didn't get that. I'm sorry.
Sir, there's the Yamraj and Chitragupt, which does accounting of our karmas. So good karmas and bad karmas. So in that manner, it could be linked.
So you're more interested in that, or in your basic bookkeeping?
Sir, I'm more interested in the application part of the commerce, economics, and accountancy.
Okay.
not in the mundane part of the bookkeeping or maintaining the accounts.
Okay. So see, you're doing commerce,
Yes, sir.
whereas you see public service is totally different.
Yes, sir.
So how do you come from commerce into public service? See, commerce, everything is profit oriented.
Yes, sir.
So the goal is different. So if you come in, people now tend to think everything as a commercial venture.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, public service is so different from a commercial venture. So how do you think you can balance the whole thing?
So my knowledge of commerce and accountancy would help me in my role as a civil servant. For example, I have studied subjects like economics, and we are seeing that more and more economic importance in the civil services. For example, the aspect of the privatization or the public-private partnership, it requires some knowledge of economics. Secondly, sir, I've learned subjects like human resource management. So in my role as a civil servant, I would have to manage different departments of the government. So that would help me in that manner. And also, sir, every department, everywhere in the government, there is importance of finance and how to manage those finances. So that is another aspect which I have learned in my commerce study. So I believe that it could help me in my role as a civil servant.
Very good, very good. Mr. Chadian,
Thank you,
Madam,
sir.
I think Madam can.
Madam.
Hello.
Good morning, ma'am.
So good morning, Mr. Nitish.
Good morning, ma'am.
So how is your day today?
It has been good, ma'am.
Is it because you are meeting a very nice panel? Anything to do, the panel is very good and you are interviewed by a good panel?
Ma'am, it is also one of the reasons.
Okay. Now, Nitish, sir, when I go through your profile, I'm interested in one thing. You have done BCom honors, whereas the trend is for BCom general. Can you tell me what was exactly the basic difference and why did you choose BCom honors?
And the basic difference between BCom honors and BCom programming is that there are some additional subjects that we study in BCom honors. For example, there is a subject called the general elective subject, in which we have to choose one particular subject. So I chose environmental studies in that. So that is the basic difference. And secondly, I wanted to study in Sri Ram College of Commerce, and SRCC only provides BCom honors. So that is another reason.
BCom honors is also based, which gives you a lot of exposure to the latest industries related to commerce. All right, because you have to do an internship in that, and they put into that. So instead of going deep into commerce, because you have taken BCom honors, you have not. There are 9 streams in BCom right now, but
Yes.
you have taken the most specialized one, which is BCom honors, which many many colleges in India, they don't offer BCom honors.
Yes,
After doing that, you are expected that you will go deep into this field of commerce and serve in those industries. But then you come to administrative side. How exactly this exposure is going to help you in administration positions?
And for example, in my understanding of commerce, I've been part of many delegations to companies or many internships. So that knowledge, I believe, could help me in my role as a civil servant, apart from the knowledge of finances, economics, and accountancy.
And then, as our chairman sir said, your interest us a lot. Your hobby interests us a lot in
Yes, ma'am.
mythology. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes.
I'll just draw your attention to two of the very famous epic that our country believes in, Mahabharata and Ramayana. And there are 2 very, very prominent characters. One is Sita, one is Draupadi.
Yes,
Right?
ma'am.
I'd like to have your view and what role you have that if not only a woman or a man, anybody who comes, how these 2 characters will guide them to be very good administrators.
Personally speaking, I'm very fascinated with both the characters of Draupadi and Sita. For example, we generally study only one Ramayana, that is the Valmiki Ramayana. And in that Ramayana, a dominant position belongs to Lord Ram and not to Sita. But we have many other versions of Ramayana. For example, we have the Adbhut Ramayana, which was written by Valmiki ji, in which the dominant character is played by Sita, which says that Sita is the ruler of Mithila, and she is the one who administers the kingdom, and how beautifully she administers the kingdom that everyone is happy. So virtually we can relate it to Ram Rajya, but Sita Rajya, because Sita is the administrator. Secondly, it says that Sita is a powerful warrior, which does fight for her country and defends that country. So that is another aspect. And if we talk about Draupadi, then Draupadi is shown as one of the most strongest character in Mahabharata. Not in the Mahabharata that we see in television, because that is some distorted version. But in the original Mahabharata, it is said that it is Draupadi which motivates her husband to fight the war for Dharma. And if it wasn't Draupadi, then that war would not have been fought for Dharma. That would have been some other war. So I believe that that character of Draupadi, that strong woman character, is the need of the, today of Indian women, and every Indian woman should aspire to be a Draupadi or a Sita.
I mean, no, whether they should be following Draupadi or Sita.
Both are strong characters, and they both have different roles. For example, Sita is more a civilized and a version which we like more, but Draupadi is more of a passionate and somewhat angry version of a woman, because her modesty is raised, and after that, how she behaves. So that is two different aspects. So in sometimes we have to be Sita, in sometimes we have to be Draupadi.
Okay, just one last question. Whom will you follow?
It depends on the situation. For example, if it is a situation of riots, and if one community is not listening to me, then I believe that Draupadi is more of a relevant character. Whereas in some other situation in which I have to deal with common people taking their ration cards and they are not listening to me, then I have to talk to them politely and convince them. So in that role, I have to be a Sita.
Thank you, and all the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Over to you, Mr. Njerian.
Yeah. See, Mr. Nitish, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you.
Very, very fantastic. So, during the riot time, you told that you want to be a Draupadi. Am I right? Okay. See, okay, fine. You're on, say, for example, assume that you're a DM, district magistrate.
Yes.
Say, for example, if the riot goes, say, for example, out of control, am I right? Out of control, normally, like the last resort, they go for issuing firing order.
Yes, sir.
Of course, as a DM, you will be issuing this firing order. Right. Will you really be Draupadi on that case? Will you be issuing that firing order?
So my first option would be to talk to the people and have negotiation and convince them, talk to their leaders. But still, if the situation worsens, then...
Like, say, for example, can you tell me what exactly is an SOP when it comes to riot control or mob management?
So, sir, as per my limited knowledge, the SOP for a mob control would be that firstly, we have to engage with the people, we have to talk, we have to convince them to disperse. Secondly, if the situation worsens, then we have to order very light use of force. For example, using of water cannons or some minimum force. The third would be to use more lethal force, like having tear gases. Fourth would be as a very last option to have lathi charge on the people. And fifth, in the most extreme of situation, if there is order from the higher authorities, then we have to open fire, but below the waist, so on the legs. So I believe that should be the SOP, sir.
Okay, on what condition, on what occasion will you be issuing firing order just because you got the order direction from your higher authority, or you will be assessing the situation?
Sir, I would be personally assessing the situation, and I would see that if the mob has any violent weapons or they have guns and they are threatening to use the gun on the force or on the police people, in that situation, I believe that use of certain kind of force is necessary from the police also.
Fine, okay, right, okay. See, you know about the different internal security threat, what exactly India is facing, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have insurgency in northeastern state, militancy in Jammu and Kashmir,
Yes,
right? Naxalism in this red corridor, all right? See, both this insurgency, right? Insurgency, northeastern state, we have this AFSPA, Armed Force Special Powers Act, right? Where exactly the army will be doing the law and order maintenance, right? Say, for example, right? Army is given the role of police, something like that. Even in Jammu and Kashmir, we have this AFSPA, right? See, for example, the threat in Naxal area is more than the threat in northeastern state as of today. But my question is, why government of India has not, say, for example, brought in army here? Why AFSPA is not implemented in red corridor?
So one reason is that the people who are involved in Naxalism, they are our own people. They are Indians, and it would not be prudent to use army against our own people. Second would be that they are demanding some socio-economic rights.
See,
So against the perception that India has created, that India want to resolve the issues of Naxalism through dialogue and negotiation. So if we use all-out force or all-out army against these people, then I think that it would weaken the image of India. So that is why use of special forces is a better option, I believe.
for Greater Nahalam, we had series of talks.
Yes, sir.
Right, Ulfa also we had series of talks.
Yes.
Okay, even NICM, right, almost Moiva, right, Moiva's group, we are having talks, right, pro-talks group.
Yes, sir.
Naxalism so far, last, say for example, decade, there is no talks as such. There is no pro-talk, say for example, groups in Naxals. And how come you say that it means we are engaging in dialogues?
So if we compare the red corridor from 10 years and today, or the past 10 years and today, then it has considerably reduced. Also, the district affected by Naxalism has reduced drastically from about 126 to around 36. So it shows that the approach of the government of the India and the government of the state is in the right direction. Also, we are seeing that many previously Naxal fighters are joining the mainstream. So they are becoming the informants of the police, or they are joining the mainstream police. So I believe that is the approach in which we should move forward.
Okay. See, when you said mainstream police,
Yes,
I
sir.
heard about something called as SPOs, right? A special police officer,
Yes, sir.
right? Where the previously the part means almost the members who were part of Naxal, so they were given the post of, say, for example, SPOs. SPOs is lesser in rank than constables, but the
Yes.
Supreme Court came against it. Am I right?
Yes.
The Supreme Court said that it is null and void, and that SPOs was taken away. Am I right? All of a sudden, right? And see, it has, say, for example, possessed a very serious threat on them, because earlier they were part of, right, Naxals. Now they have joined the police, and all of a sudden, right, Supreme Court said, no, you cannot be, right, part of police. You cannot handle weapons. Am I right? Because I understand, right? Rules
sir.
is at least a class 8 pass, right? Something like that. They have to be there. Right. All of a sudden, right, their life was put to threat. Am I right? And
Yes, sir.
nobody took care of them. Right. Whose failure is this?
So if they are brought to the mainstream, then they are the responsibility of the state and the government. So it is the responsibility of the state and the government to ensure that they are properly inducted in the police force or any other force that they are wanting. So instead of having a special post called the SPO, we should have taken them into the mainstream police. We should have given them a post like the inspector or sub-inspector, so that it does not differentiate them. Giving them SPO post is symbolically of differentiating them from the mainstream police.
But they
So-
don't have, see, for example, they don't have the educational qualification.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
In that case, what exactly, what else can we do?
Sir, in that case, we should have given them any other option of employment apart from police service. For example, we could have given them training about some other job or some other employment.
Like,
That is my thing.
any example?
Like, for example, it should be dependent upon their skills. For example, some could be a better owner of a shop, some could be shopkeepers, or some could be working in some factory. So that type of job could be given, or some could be drivers. So that I believe.
Okay. See, we have a lot of border disputes, right? With Pakistan, we had border dispute. We still have, right? China, we always have. Even with Bangladesh, we had, right? Enclaves, but enclaves issue was settled. Am I
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
always, right? It is evident that with the neighboring countries, you have bordering issue. But it is very strange that states are having border issue, and they're fighting for it. What is your take on it, right? How do you perceive this? Say, for example, the current scenario between Assam and Mizoram.
Certainly, the current clashes between Assam and Mizoram does not hold well for the Indian constitution and the Indian state, because two states fighting is like two Indian citizens fighting, and that too with lethal weapons, and one state policeman have been killed. So that does not go well for the Indian constitution. So I believe in this manner, there could be talks and negotiation between both the states, which could be aided by the center government. So center government should intervene and should try to resolve the issue, and should send the central police forces instead of having the state police forces in the border areas. We can have the central forces in those contested areas.
Okay, that's it from my side, Nitish. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Chairman, sir.
Okay. There was one thing you said about, Naxalites and, army being brought in.
Yes, sir.
You said Naxals are our own people,
Yes, sir.
but the others are also our own people.
So, but the situation in Jammu and Kashmir is different because there are
We have always held that Kashmir is a part of India and
Yes, sir.
Kashmiris are Indians.
yes, sir.
So how do you think that they are different? Or in Northeast people, they are only Indians.
So, in the problem in the Kashmir is that there is infiltration from Pakistan. The terrorists come from Pakistan. So that is one reason why army is there. And if we talk about the northeastern part, then there also we have the insurgents people moving in the porous borders of Myanmar or Bangladesh. So that is one another threat because of which army is deployed there, I believe.
So it is just because of the international borders. It's not because the people are different.
Sir, I don't
I
believe
think
that.
you should be very clear. See, the army is there because it's the borders.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
It's not because of the,
Yes, sir.
okay.
Thank you,
So you have done well. We will come back to you.
Sure, sir.
We'll come back and give you the feedback.
Okay, sir.
But you've done well. Your
Thank you, sir.
confidence level is good.
Thank you,
But
sir.
whatever we want to tell you, we just wait for a few minutes. Okay.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Nitish,
Yes, sir.
you can listen to me. You can hear me.
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay. Now you've all discussed your this thing. You've done extremely well
Thank you, sir.
for a young man of your age. You have been able to critically analyze, and you've been to the point when we have asked you questions. There's only one thing that we would like to suggest to you. Be
Yes,
a little choosy with your words.
okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
See, when you say that these are, when I said, like these are our people.
Yes, sir.
So they are in the they are in the subcontinent, or they are in central India.
Yes, yes, sir.
So you think that they are our people, whereas Kashmiris and others may not be our people.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so please be very careful.
Yes,
Same way, when we asked you, when will you? What is the SOP for taking action for mob control?
yes, sir.
You said on getting orders from above.
Yes, sir.
I think you'll have to be a little careful that you'll have to say, I will take the decision myself,
Okay, sir.
because you take the responsibility, you take the decision,
Okay, sir.
because they are not there in your place,
Yes, sir.
but you'll have to keep them informed.
Yes, sir.
You can tell your chief secretary or IG or whoever it is, things are getting out of control. We are going to do this.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the decision will have to be yours.
Yes, sir.
So you have to be careful with your words a little bit.
Sure, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
but otherwise, I think, and the same way, Draupadi and Sita, when you're talking about them,
Yes, sir.
you're talking about not the common perception of Draupadi or Sita.
Yes, sir.
Common perception of Sita is a very virtuous woman who suffers,
Yes, sir.
not a ruler.
Yes, sir.
So I think you are relating something else.
Yes,
You are having your own version of Ramayana.
Yes, sir. That's a different version of Ramayana.
So which is not the common perception.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I think it's better to stick to the common perception, because it's a little difficult for us to stretch our imagination.
Yes, sir.
So maybe you can be a little more, selective about these things.
Okay,
But
sir.
otherwise, I think you did an extremely good interview.
Thank you, sir.
Very good interview. Keep it up. Listen. See, examine what they are trying to find out. What the interviewer is trying to find out.
Yes, sir.
Because he has something in his head when he asks you a question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So you'll have to guess that correctly and give the correct answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And your attitude can be a little toned down.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Like when you said, if they don't listen to me, I'll become a, Draupadi. So a little more toned down version could be good. Otherwise, you did very well, and we wish you all the best
Thank you, sir.
on the board.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
All the best, Nitish.
Thank you so much, sir.
I still remember that I think this is the second time we are meeting, right?
No, sir.
Ah, I remember your profile somewhere we met. Maybe officers?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I
Ah,
gave there.
yeah. I think I am also there in that group. Okay, very good, Nitish. Right, so carry on. God bless you. Wish you all success this year itself.
Thank you so much, sir.